Welcome to Falls Count Anywhere, where the wrestling ring meets the heart. Hosted by the gentleman Jody Powell, join us as we dive into the latest pro wrestling news and rumors, from the electrifying world of WWE to the inspiring stories of wrestling for Christ. This is your all-access pass to the action, the faith, and the hope. This is Falls Count Anywhere.
Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to another edition of Falls Count Anywhere. I'm your host, the gentleman Jody Powell. With me, as always, is my right-hand man, my Caped Crusader, my mad scientist, Mike Buchanan, deep in the Buchanan Laboratory. How are you, my friend?
I am fine, gentlemen. How are you, sir?
Man, I couldn't be better. I could not be better. We are on the road to the Royal Rumble, which starts the road to WrestleMania. So, you know, these roads can't be any worse than what they are here in South Carolina, or so I thought.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that, man. Let's talk about the really important stuff. Are you messing with food? What's going on in the lab?
With food. Happy National Popcorn Day to all our viewers.
Oh, Popcorn Day. Okay.
As this airs, it's for those who are into those things. It's National Popcorn Day. So in celebration of that, JP, I am working on, glad you're sitting down, because this is going to blow your socks off.
Okay.
I am working on popcorn-flavored ice cream. Everybody loves popcorn. Everybody loves ice cream. Blend them together. $1 billion idea.
I love popcorn, man, and I love ice cream, but put them together? Oh, I don't know. Have you done a taste test? I mean, are we?
Tastes delicious. You don't have the holes to mess with either, so it's a win-win.
You know, I'm just glad you decided to look at what National Day it was today and not last Monday, because last Monday was National Pharmacist Day, so I'd hate to see what you'd have cooking up for that. Oh, man, some kind of terrible episode of Breaking Bad going on down there in the lab. Ooh, okay, well, you know what? I'll take your word for it. Now, I'm always one to try something once. So if you want to send me free, put it in some dry ice and send me some popcorn flavored ice cream, I'll give you a taste test there, buddy.
Sounds good.
But I'll tell you what tests have not been passed, and that is the creativity at the WWE. So let's get into it. Let's talk about a little bit of a WWE action last Monday night. I'll tell you what I did like on Raw. I really enjoyed the segment between Braun Breaker and Adam Pearce, where Adam Pearce suspends Breaker for coming unhinged or whatever, and whatever. I mean, I don't think he did anything too terribly awful to be suspended based on what we've seen in the past. But it was so interesting because at the very end, when he was suspended, when Heyman turned to Pearce and said, that was a bad decision because you put your hands on him first. And now we have Adam Pearce in a position of, questioning that leadership, that decision making. And we haven't had that with Pearce's general manager tenure. It was pretty popular there for a while that whoever the general manager was always getting questioned from upper management about their decision making. And we haven't had that with Adam Pearce. So I'm a little excited. I'm cautiously optimistic about where they could go with this angle.
I have an idea for him.
All right, bring it on, bro.
Old school. Pearce is suspended or whatever, comes back, he loses his general manager powers. Interim, whoever you want to put in there is interim general manager. Pearce versus Breaker. One-on-one, hold on. If Pearce wins, he's the GM. And this is the only way it works. If Braun spears him into oblivion, ladies and gentlemen, I am General Manager Paul Heyman.
Ooh, that's good, brother. I'm going to tell you, I've heard rumors that this could lead to a Breaker Pearce match, which we don't need to see because Adam Pearce has neck issues that have kept him out of wrestling. A lot of folks don't know that he was a great professional wrestler before he was general manager. And it's his neck issues have kept him out of wrestling. But there are rumblings that this could lead to some kind of Edge-like comeback match, and I'm kind of like, I really hope not, because I don't want to see some guy, I don't want to see Adam Pearce get speared into paralysis or something. So let's be smart with that, Adam, if you're listening and if you're watching. I know you are. All of you guys watch us. I tell you what.
Right. Well, where they put their ideas.
They should. I love what you said there, Mikey. That's some good booking right there. You know what I don't understand? Why, and I've said this before, and I'm going to harp on it some more. Why are we wasting our main event women's talent in the tag team division? Should we be caring about the tag team titles more than the women's world title, particularly the one on Raw? Because now we've got Rio, and obviously they're watching because I called them Rio first, and we've got Rio versus Roxanne and Liv for the tag team titles coming up at Saturday night's main event this Saturday. And, we had Alexa Bliss doing the job on SmackDown in a singles match. Are you kidding me? Like, really? We have the Kabuki Warriors in the mix, and they lost the match even though they weren't pinned. For the number one. So all of this main event talent for the women tied up in the tag team. And who do we have for the Raw Women's Championship match? We've got Chai Rodriguez.
Thank you, Les Nessman.
Only people over 50 will get that. We got Chai Rodriguez and Stephanie Vacuum Cleaner going out for the... you're rubbing off on me with these names, brother. But it's just, I'm not excited about a Raquel Rodriguez, Stephanie Vaquer, a women's world champion match, but I am kind of excited about this Rio Judgment Day Liv Morgan Roxanne match.
Here's one for you. It just hit me. Tonight's been a night of inspiration. The reason they're focusing on the women's tag team match on the Red brand on Raw is because the men's tag team division on Raw sucks.
Come on, man. You got the greatest tag team ever as your world champions. What are you talking about? The Usos?
The Sosos? I'm hoping that Otis and Kawasaki chip their brains in somewhere down the line and take the belts off of them.
Oh, I don't think Otis and Hitachi have any shot at doing that whatsoever,
Let a man dream, man. Let a man dream.
Interesting that they got those two a little FaceTime too. I think that's riding the coattails of their friend there, Little Miss, former Intercontinental Champion Maxine Dupree. Yeah. I did love AJ Gunther match. I didn't, remember I said I was going into it. I'm not excited about it because of the way that promo went. The match was incredible. Really good wrestling match. I thought a lot of good chain wrestling, a lot of great moves showcased. The calf crusher AJ had. Gunther tapping out, but not where the referee could see. So AJ releases it. What a great way to finish that match. I loved that. It just builds Gunther as that jerk of a heel that he's been playing that so well. So now I'm a little bit more bought into that feud, and we'll see where that goes. We'll see if we get a rematch at the Rumble or maybe even Saturday night's main event if it hasn't been announced already. So I'm kind of good with that.
Speaking of holidays and national days, do you know when Dusty Rhodes' birthday is? Because that match with CM with Gunther and AJ had Rhodes finish written all over it.
I mean, yeah, it was a little gimmicky. I gotta admit, tapping him on the side that the referee wasn't there just so AJ would break the hold. But I'm into it. I'm good with it. I think it is exactly what Gunther needs to continue to build who he is right now, and I like this Gunther better than I like the unbeatable, dominant, 1,000-day Intercontinental Champion Gunther. A question for you, Finn Balor and your boy CM Punk tonight from Belfast on Raw. What do you think?
Well, I'd like to see Finn win. Not to be a poet. It's just that it's crappy match stunk, and I don't have any need for CM Stunk to be the title holder anymore.
I don't either, but you know what? They're going to keep it that way, and that's why I'm not excited about it.
I know, you're right.
And how much I've been building and how much I've wanted Finn Balor to be pushed. This isn't a push. This is feeding Finn Balor to the wolves so that what'd you say? CM Skunk continue to
skunk, whatever you want to call him.
This is so Skunk can continue to build his. It's almost like a network time killer. Remember that on Dave Letterman? They had the network time killer. They're killing time until we get back on track with their Braun CM Punk match that's going to happen probably at WrestleMania. And I just hate to see that happens to Finn Balor. Where's Roman Reigns? Where's Brock Lesnar? I don't know. Where's Chris Jericho? Where's Edge? I don't know. At this point, Mikey, I don't care.
No.
Especially with Roman and Brock, if you're going to work part-time, don't work at all.
Yeah, Jericho and Edge coming back would be good for nostalgia, but if Roman Reigns doesn't come back and Crocodile Lesnar's on, I don't notice him unless you mention him.
Yeah, I'm with you there. So we'll have to see. And coming up Saturday night's main event, we talked about the women's tag team title. At this point, we know who's in the fatal four-way, or as you're watching this, we don't know because we're recording before SmackDown. Here's the thing about that match for Drew McIntyre. I would be okay if there was a younger talent like Trick Williams or Dragunov, someone like that walking out of that fatal four-way, because we know this isn't going to be a short title reign, or we don't know it. I don't think it's going to be a short title reign for Drew McIntyre. So I don't want to see Randy Orton. I don't want to see Damian Priest or Solo Sikoa in anything. So I'd love to see a Trick Williams. I'd love to maybe a Matt Cardona. I don't think they'll put him there. But I'd love to see him or Dragunov getting the opportunity to main event a pay-per-view or a PLE. For the title. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Let me tell you what played out last Saturday night. The kids ran the asylum. The kids were in charge of EPW, and we're going to talk about it when we come back from this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, fans, to Falls Count Anywhere. And if you missed last Saturday night's Battleground, EPW, their kids program took over Battleground, and we had Winterfest, an incredible kids lineup. And they have a great kids program there at Ephesians Pro Wrestling. And let me just tell you, I'm going to give a shout out to all of these kids because they put on a great show. They had kid ring announcers. They had a kid commentator there, kid referees. It was really awesome. And of course, the wrestlers, all young people. And this is going to happen. It happened last Saturday night and this coming Saturday. So if you missed some, you definitely want to check it out this Saturday night. But I'm going to tell you, I have a new favorite EPW wrestler, Mikey. I'm sorry, HBO. I'm sorry, HBO. I still love you, my buddy, but Christian H is my man. All right, this kid comes out and he, I couldn't tell. I was squinting a little bit. Is that Triple H coming out? I mean, he comes out to Triple H's music. He comes out, the hair kind of down in his face. He comes out with the swag. He gets to the ring, drinks the water, and it was great, man. I mean, it was perfect. And he just came with the attitude. Christian H was in a tag team match. He was in a match with Reminator. All right, Reminator was his partner, and they were taking on Raptor and CJ Phoenix. Raptor apparently at the last kids show had taken Christian H out. And so this was a little bit of vengeance here, and it was Christian H who dropped the big leg drop of doom. Dropped the leg drop of doom on Raptor.
Where's the pedigree?
Got the 3. He didn't need it. You know what? He's his own kid, and I love this kid, man. He has the attitude. He has the swagger. He's a great in-ring performer. Shout out to you, Christian H, man. I am a huge Christian H fan, and a lot of other great kids on this card. Lil Jade. She was in a mixed tag match with her partner Alpha, and they took on the ladies champion Rowdy Ray Ray, and the gentleman's champion Joe Dream in a mixed tag match. Now, if the challengers won, they got to vie for the title on Saturday. If the champions won, they get to pick who they were going to wrestle this coming Saturday. Well, guess what? Ray Ray has a twin sister, Razor, who happens to be the best friend of Little Jade. And so when and there was a ref bump. I mean, that poor kid took a splash in the corner. And I don't know if it was a splash as much as it was a ripple, but still, it was a splash. and I mean, Ray trying to take advantage. Ref is down. Roll out, got a kendo stick, Mikey. I'm like, wait a minute now.
These children
have kendo sticks in the ring. But it was her twin sister, Razor, who came out, took the kendo stick away from her, delivered a little sweet chin music, and down goes her twin sister. So Little Jade got the pin. So the challengers, Little Jade will take on Rowdy Ray Ray for the ladies championship, and her partner Alpha is going to get a shot at the gentleman's championship. I mean, and get this, the gentleman champion, Joe Dream. What a name. I love it. I love these characters these kids are coming up with, man. Shout out to will.i.am. will.i.am got a pinfall in a triple threat match against John Doe. My man came out in like a clear plastic mask that you can't really tell his identity. He's John Doe. I mean, I love it. And Beta. We had Alpha and Beta. I don't know what it is about the Greek alphabet, but it's very, very cool. will.i.am got the win there. We had a tag team to wrap up the first night. Jax the Axe, my man, Jax the Axe and Slayer picking up the victory over who is almost my favorite, Mullet Fury. Mullet Fury, and I mean like the hairstyle mullet. How could you not love a mullet?
Patch like Nick Fury?
No, he does not. But I don't know if he's related to Luke Fury. I'm gonna have to ask. I'm gonna ask the young legend Luke Fury if he's related to him. But Mullet Fury in the evidence took the loss from Jax the Axe. It was just an absolute great program. Check it out again this Saturday night. EPW Kids. And I got to tell you, Mikey, what I love about this, I love that there is a program for children to be able to express themselves creatively in a safe environment. I love that it is an opportunity for kids who may or may not have a lot of other things going on, or may not have access or the ability to access other things. You know, I would imagine that some of these kids come from all walks of life. From great families and good solid Christian homes to broken homes and poor families. I would imagine that this, for some of them, is the only positive thing they have. And so I'm grateful to Ephesians Pro Wrestling for not only providing them with this creative outlet, but for also sharing the gospel with them. Because it is these kids, it is our children that are so endangered right now in our society. And we're going to talk about that when we come back from the break. Mikey, you're going to lead us in a really powerful Finding Tomorrow right after these messages. So fans, you're going to want to stay tuned for that. We'll be right back. Fans, don't forget to check out the new show on Abundant TV, Men Like Us. Just guys sitting around candidly discussing the pressures and expectations that men face on a daily basis. Watch it now on demand on Abundant TV.
Hi, I'm Chris Whaley, author, former professional wrestler, pastor, and I'm joined by my co-host.
I'm Jeff Dixon,
I am a pastor, I'm a speaker, I'm an author as well, but we have something else we do together. Yes, we have a great program called The Clash. Clash? And it comes on every Monday night at 7:30 on Abundant TV. Well, I want to watch it, and we'd love for you to watch it too. So, if you wouldn't mind, join us on Monday night, and we'll see you at The Clash. At The Clash, and it's always a battle, so come join us.
Welcome back, fans, and it's our favorite time of Finding Tomorrow. And before we get started, I just want to give this disclaimer. Parents, this Finding Tomorrow is going to have a couple of very sensitive topics. And so viewer discretion is advised, particularly for younger ears. If you have children in the room, you may want to send them out for the next 8 or 9 minutes while we go through this. So consider yourself properly advised. Mikey, what have we got for Finding Tomorrow?
Well, thanks, gentlemen. We started off the show with a fairly light National Popcorn Day thing because as they're viewing this is National Popcorn Day. However, for many years, January has been National Sanctity of Human Life Month.
Yeah.
A lot of pro-life stuff happens to protect the defenseless unborn. I'm not going to get into politics about certain aspects, but the numbers are bad.
Yeah.
Numbers are, for the first half of 2025, I believe they said, it's about 600. Well, let me do it this way. Last year, based on an average, it was close to 1.2 million over the year here in America. And for you that don't know, back in the Old Testament, because there's really nothing new under the sun, Jody. I wish there was, but there's not. Except for God's planning your life on a daily basis, but that's another topic. But back in the Old Testament, there used to be this false god called Molech. And every now and then, and it's mentioned multiple times in the first 5 books of the Bible specifically, children of Israel would lose their mind and sacrifice their babies to Molech. And the way that they did that is just like you see in all the flipping movies. They passed them through fire. What does that have to do with abortion? Well, if you've ever seen one, if you've ever heard about one, they use salt on the baby in utero. And that same sensation, if you will, of being burned is what these babies feel. And yes, they do feel. Jody has an email, pops it up all the time. You want to talk about science and share your concerns, please feel free. But we're talking about finding hope for tomorrow, Jody. So we had a couple of verses that talk about what God himself feels about children when they're in the womb.
Yeah.
You want to read those?
Absolutely. And you go back to Jeremiah 1:5. Verse 5 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations." And very similar verse in Isaiah 49:1 says, "Listen, O coastlands, to me, and take heed, you people from afar. The Lord has called me from the womb. From the matrix of my mother, he has made mention of my name."
Thank you. But any thoughts, Jody? You just read those 2 verses. Any thoughts on them?
Well,
I know you have thoughts.
I have thoughts. The ultimate question that keeps being bantered around is, when does life begin? And there are a lot of people that will take some verses out of context. These verses are not taken out of context. These are verses coming from Jeremiah and Isaiah saying, "This is what the Lord said to me," right? The Lord said that I knew you in the womb. Now, how do you know something in the womb? Know it, and not know it's there. Know it personally. And that's what God is saying here. And so you say, well, you know, how do they know that? Well, because God told them that. Well, what proof do we have that God told them that? You don't need proof. This isn't about proof. This is about faith. That's what God wants. Faith. God wants you to believe. And even if it's something that goes against what you believe, God wants you to believe in his word and that he is infallible, that his word is truth. And so if God said that he knew me in the womb, or if God said that he knew Jeremiah in the womb, then he knew me in the womb. Jeremiah's no better than I am. Isaiah's no better. They're people, they're human, they're fallible, just like you and I. Our verse on this show is Romans 3:23, for all fall short of the glory of God. And those falls count. And they count for every single person. So what's good for Jeremiah was good for me. God knew me in the womb. And God knows all of those 1.2 million children who never saw the light of day in the womb.
So to kind of put a pin in this for and jump onto something else in the brief time we have left. Gentlemen, ladies, if you're watching, where you can, and I hate having to say it this way, where you can, be involved in the crisis pregnancy centers, the ones that help mothers with unplanned pregnancies. And here's the part where it's a little bit more iffy. Don't be afraid to go to the abortion clinics, to the Planned Parenthoods. It makes a difference. Yeah. And if you want to light for tomorrow, men, we want to be the hero. Stand up for those that can't stand up for themselves.
Right.
Speaking of, there's another group that doesn't get a whole lot of coverage, unfortunately. And those are teens and young children that are trafficked, Jody.
Oh, an epidemic.
It's 115,000 reports of child sex trafficking in 2025. Now, here's what I did not know. That is a 323% increase compared to 2024.
Yeah, the United States has an absolute epidemic. It's a problem. It is something that has to be addressed. It's not being talked about. It's not being addressed in our governments. It's not being addressed in our churches. It's not being addressed in our towns because we think it doesn't happen in our town. I'm going to tell you something. It happens in my town. It happens in your town. If you don't think it does, then you're just being naive. You're putting your head into the sand.
Well, let me put it this way, y'all. If you know of a runaway, there's that possibility that whoever takes them is going to traffic them. And nobody deserves that, especially the children.
No. You know, Mike, we talked about APW and their kids program and what it does and how it gives kids these opportunities to express themselves and be creative. And we've got to find more opportunities to get kids involved in really powerful things that share the gospel, that keep them away from situations that make them vulnerable for being taken.
More than Vacation Bible School.
Yes.
For the gentlemen and ladies that want to help physically, financially, prayerfully, especially, 2 organizations. One is Tim Tebow Foundation. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's the football player from Florida who was almost aborted himself. See how those two tie together with Mr. Tebow. And another one is something that I've just recently been acquainted with. It's called Victor Marx. He's a gentleman actually running for governor in Colorado. But he has a society, if you will, called the Dangerous Gentleman. If you check out Dangerous Gentleman on .com, you'll get all that information. Tim Tebow Foundation will find all that information for you.
Yep.
Speaking of finding, hopefully everybody can take that light into tomorrow. But what were you about to say? I think I cut you off.
Well, I'm curious. Dangerous Gentleman, could I consider that gimmick infringement? I mean, I'm a dangerous gentleman, but let me give you 2 more dangerous gentlemen. Chris Whaley and Jeff Dixon on The Clash right here on Abundant TV.